talk show. We just finna talk and drop some knowledge, pick up some knowledge, and kick the bobos on some real life shit and situations. So let's do this. Come on, you
All
go
right.
first.
So I was sitting there and I was talking to some people on Discord, and I noticed that people sometimes when they talk about their expectations of certain things, or even when they talk about their wants or their needs, they speak from a hurt place. And
Mm-hmm.
when speaking from that hurt place, it could put them in a light that they're not necessarily trying to put on themselves. You know, so um, I was speaking on the difference between fear and caution,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they're two different things. You know, caution is the the being careful of things that may potentially bring harm to you, and fear is the unpleasant feeling that you get from things that can from something or somebody that can cause you harm.
Right.
And so, you know, I think a lot of people let fear talk for them when they experience horrific things, things they consider horrific. Um, and I think you can lessen that when you take your experience and you use hindsight. You know, hindsight. You know, if you can avoid with caution, you can avoid hindsight. But if you have hindsight, use it. Use it
Right.
to prevent. You know, to be cautious. You know.
That's true. I mean, from a uh, I'm sorry, I got distracted with him running around.
Oh, that's
Um,
fine.
it's kind of like you got to look at it like a child would look at a different situation, especially when you're going into relationships or starting on a new venture. You know, they say how children are fearless. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I remember my daughter used to just jump into the pool. And I
Hmm.
mean, she didn't care. But now
Hmm.
that she knows there's a potential threat of drowning, I can't get her to come off the steps. So now she's cautious, but she was fearless at first. And you got to start any new adventure with that, but also be cautious at the same time. I wouldn't necessarily say fear is what they say. Fear is afraid of the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen, which is
Hmm.
why I feel like you shouldn't go into any new venture afraid because you don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes your fear can stop you from doing something great.
I agree. I agree.
Caution, another thing. It's okay to be cautious. Everybody's cautious.
Right. Some people let fear rule every decision of their life, though. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do this because this, that, and the third can happen. And I'm like, how do you know though? You don't know until you actually get there.
So yeah, you're right. I feel like you should have also a little bit of fearlessness in you because it's kind of like a balance, but
Hmm.
sometimes the balance might have to go lean towards more fearlessness because if you overcome, your caution,
Hmm.
then sky's the limit what you can do. And a lot of things in life involve fear, unfortunately.
Hmm.
You can go outside every day and something can happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? You can
Yeah.
you can get into a relationship. It might not work out. It's always fear on every angle of life. So a lot of times you kind of got to be fearless to navigate, navigate life basically. You have to be fearless. But in some instances, you do have to reserve a certain amount of caution because
Hmm.
if you're too fearless, then you if you tip them scales, basically things will happen because you're too fearless. And you don't want to be too cautious because, like you said, you'll never get anything done. My mother's like that. A lot of older people, once they begin, they become older.
Hmm.
It's a lot of caution.
Yeah.
So much caution that, like you said, you can't get anything done.
So that's what the one another thing that I want people to know is that it's like like caution that's rational. It's a choice. Fear is an instinct, and you fear like caution is a tool. Use it wisely. You know what I'm saying? You use
Hmm.
anything too much, it's gonna be bad.
It's like jumping out of a plane.
Right.
You
So it's
afraid to
like
jump, or are you just gonna be cautious and make sure your parachute work?
there you go. See now, some fears come from
I'm not jumping
um
out no goddamn plane.
ignorance that's based
I
in
want to do that.
bliss.
No.
Some fears are based on the bliss of ignorance. Hence the example of children. Children are only fearless because they don't know the danger yet.
Exactly.
So I try to get people to change their perspective because I feel like that's where it starts. Is how you perceive something, right? So it's like the most common one is probably getting a new job. Getting a new job is scary. It's a bunch of things that you have, a bunch of processes that you have to do, and most people don't even believe they're gonna get the job. But like if you apply positive reinforcement up here, you know what I'm saying? You'll see everything different.
That's facts.
Yeah. So the reason why I really like this topic is because my cousin Tierra, she had a great opportunity to be a head chef at the Waldorf Astoria in Phoenix, Arizona. But all her immediate family is here in DC. And I've had talks with her, it's a 6-figure salary, what I'm saying? It'll be tough because it's a male dominated profession. But I had a talk with her and told her biggest fear is because she doesn't know anybody in Phoenix, Arizona. There's no family out there. I think the closest family we do have, I think I have a cousin who owns a barbershop in Oakland, downtown Oakland or whatever. But other than that, she doesn't really have a relationship with him. So she feels as though going out there alone, she doesn't really want to partake in that opportunity. So she's looking for something a little closer.
Hmm.
And I told her, I was just like, well, think about the reason why you love doing what you do. If this is a true passion for you or whatever, it has to outweigh the fear. And it's okay to be afraid. And that was my main thing. It's okay to be afraid. But it also that fear cannot outweigh the reason why you're doing it in the first place. And I think if this is something you really want to do, and she's already successful. She's already got multiple awards or whatever. And I just think that I don't think she's going to do it. So it kind of breaks my heart a little bit. Um, but if there's anything, I wish there was anything else that I can let her know. Like, hey, like if you think about the most successful people that we read about, that we hear about, that we see online, they
Hmm.
all took that step. They all took that step that made them the uncomfortable step or whatever. And unfortunately, I hate to bring race into it, but for us as black people or whatever, it's we always take the safest route. It seems like that's we take the safest decision, but sometimes that's not the best for
Hmm.
us. And then we sitting here looking at everybody pass us by when we could be riding on the same train with those very people.
My granny
So
got a joke like how we always say we call them the others. The others don't live long, but they live. Meanwhile,
hmm
we live all our lives not experiencing anything new. Like I know a lot of people that's never even, been outside of their state or,
hmm
experienced anything extravagant or exotic because they're afraid. And we laugh and we talk about the others for petting tigers, but they live in life.
Right.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, we at home with our hairless cats. That's as close as a tiger we gonna ever get. And I ain't gonna lie, I be a little envious sometimes. I wish, cause I'm one of them people, y'all. I be afraid. And what Lil
Mhm.
Wayne said, I'm scared of everything but them niggas. I be scared if it walk, crawl, speed, fly faster than me. I don't want nothing to do. I run from butterflies.
Oh
Okay,
Lord.
like I run from butterflies, bees, flies, gnats. I'm running. I like dogs, but I don't like little ones. I run from little dogs. I let a big dog come up to me because I like to see what they're doing. I hate cats. I'm definitely afraid of cats because I don't know what y'all doing. I can't see. So, like you said, it's the fear of the unknown. That's what's stopping us from living life. I think cats are adorable from a distance, but because I'm scared that this cat probably up under here, ready to scratch off the back of my Achilles heel while I'm sitting on this couch, I won't get no cat.
Can I ask the audience something? Um, what is something that you were once afraid of, but then when you tried it, you were like, "Damn, I wish I did this a long time ago," or "I wish I took advantage of this when it was
Not
first
y'all
given."
looking around like this a classroom.
I mean, anybody. It can be anybody. It can be anything.
I'll start.
Here come Detroit. Come on, Detroit. You
Singing in
come stand in the
public.
box. Come get in the box.
Yeah, bro.
I know,
You know I
I
got
know he ain't. I
something.
know he ain't nervous to talk.
No, no, come on now. I oh. At first, I ain't gonna lie, going to another state, starting all over. That had me kind of like, but
That's
then
a big one.
it's good because once you go somewhere, you get like a fresh start. When you at home, you around people, you doing your thing, you doing something positive, everybody got the hand out. When you get somewhere new, you don't know nobody. So it's like, but now with all this communication, you can't even flash on Facebook. Hey, cuz, let me hold a couple hours. But it's like you got a fresh start. You ain't got to worry about so and so down the street. Hey, you at home? Let me get this, that, and third. I don't know nobody. I could either accept you or neglect you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I got options. So, but like with that fresh start, you just got to make sure you don't repeat the same bad habits you did in that last little, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Right.
That last situation.
That's facts. That's
Yeah.
me.
Moving.
I'm
Moving
afraid
is
to
a big
move.
one.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
the
Moving is a
really
big
big
deal.
one. But
Yeah.
after the
I can
first
I
time,
can relate to that
yeah, after the
personally.
first time, I just got used to it. Hey, I'm gonna go move out here. I'm gonna do Kentucky. I'm gonna do Mississippi. I'm gonna do Houston. I might go back home, but that's every time I go somewhere, I still got to go back home just to be like, you know what? I'm tired of being at home. Let me try somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I move around a lot,
Hmm.
so it's like I done got used to it. Nah, I'm fearless.
I
Like
knew
I
his
go
ass was
here, I go there, I go
unstable.
everywhere. Huh?
Huh?
You said what?
I ain't say nothing.
No, for real. Like for real, I be like, cause I get tired of places quick, and that come from me growing up. My mom was moving a lot, so I got used to it, and I was like,
Yeah,
you know
mine
what?
too. That's why I
But
won't
then,
move.
but me doing it on my own, I see why I got it honest. I'm like, shit. All right, I want to go here. I'm tired of y'all. I'm gonna go there. You know what I'm saying?
No, my
Don't
mama
do that,
moved
Rabbit.
around a
You
lot.
always
What you talking about? I didn't do
nothing.
anything.
You be sneak dissing, but it's all
I ain't
good.
said nothing. I was scratching my ear. That's why it looked like I turned my head. But
She done came down here, called a man, met a busty and
I
everything.
was talking to him, not you.
I said the
But
man.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
my
Keep
mom
it. You
moved
said
around a
singing.
lot,
Oh.
so like that's why it had the opposite effect on me, because like I was just talking about this not too long ago, and I realized like I don't have no lifelong friends. You know what I'm saying? I don't have nobody. Like I know girls that I went to school with. I still see them. We associate every now and again. We comment on each other's posts on Instagram and stuff like that. But I don't have any. I can't call two or three women up right now and say, "Hey, let's go out and have a girls' day." You know what I'm saying? I don't have no lifelong friends. And my daughter, she started at this academy in first grade last year, and she made her some friends. And then us moms, we got up and now we started kicking it and stuff like that. So now I got me a group of mom friends, and my daughter got friends that she can potentially, grow up with. And
Hmm.
that's why I don't want to move, but it's because I didn't have that moving around. So it's
Right.
not necessarily it's the fear of, oh, I'm going out there. I don't want my children to not have a lifelong friend, or you know what I'm saying? Like now
Yeah.
we oh here we go again, because that's how I was. Here we go again. I just made friends here. You know what I'm saying? I did 5 schools between sixth and eighth grade. Only school
Jeez.
I was at
Yo.
was eighth grade. That was my
Dang.
that was one time, and that's because I finally moved in with my grandma, and it was the most stable I was after that. But sixth grade, I was in two different sixth grade, I mean schools, and seventh grade, I was in two different schools. So every time, like every 6 months, it's like, dang, I just made friends. And I'm not saying we was moving far; we was literally moving from city to city. But you know, as a child, you don't keep in contact with the people that stay 15, 20 minutes away from you.
Right.
So that's more so of my fear. It's like I feel like my kid finally fitting in somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't want to uproot that.
Cause I moved as well, but it was from state to state, and it gets difficult because the education system is different from state to state. So I would get dropped grades because they don't practice the same curriculums, the same credits,
Mm-hmm.
same courses. Time zones is different,
Mm-hmm.
courses is different. I went from having 9 periods, 45 minutes of class to hour 4 classes a day, hour and a half classes. And I'm telling you, there are very little experiences that will make you feel so alone than being the new kid at school. Oh my
Hmm.
goodness. When
Yeah.
you like it did like I walked into school and of course I was being cordial, being friendly to everybody, but it doesn't hit you until it's lunchtime.
Oh
Right.
baby.
And you sit at the
You see the
table and you're like,
clicks. Yeah.
yo, everybody happy, laughing, giggling, and I don't have anyone to talk to.
Yep.
And I'm like, and it feels awkward. It feels like you're the only one not occupying space.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I understood that. I understood that fully.
That's why I don't want to put my kid through that. Cause like you said, it's that lunchtime when my youngest just started school. She started kindergarten, and in the morning when you go in, they all the kids sit in the lunchroom until class starts. If you drop them off early enough, so they can get breakfast or whatnot. And the whole first week, my daughter kept saying, "Mom, can you drop me off later? Can you drop me off later?" And I'm like, "Why?" And she like, I don't know nobody. I don't know who to sit next to. I couldn't find my friend that I met, the day before. I don't know her name. And she it was like, damn. And I ain't gonna lie, I dropped a tear because I kind of felt bad. Like I wish I could have went in that lunchroom and sat down with her. But that's just a part of life, you know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
refuse to have that happen over and over and over and over and over again. You get past these first couple weeks of being new, you're new in kindergarten, everybody's new in kindergarten. That's it. After that,
Right.
them same kids that you went to kindergarten with is gonna be at first grade. Well, probably not, because I ain't gonna lie, my kids go to an academy, but the academy only start for first grade. But my kid know all of my oldest daughter's friends and their younger siblings who are going to be going to that same academy, so she already got pre-friends. But still, like after that, because I went through that. And my kids, they got it a little bit easier because they look black, but I didn't look black. So I wasn't black enough to be with the black kids, and I wasn't white enough to be with the white kids, even though I'm not even mixed. I'm just really light with light hair and green eyes. So it's the fitting in thing. It's just, and that's what anything in life. That's what everybody is. It all comes down to that. You just want to fit in where you get in a relationship, in a job, in a new endeavor in life. You just want to fit in, and you afraid you're not. So that's where that fear kicks in. That if don't nobody else want to speak on this subject, we're gonna move to the next one.
Tyreek.
He muted.
I mean, this is on the same topic, but it kind of veers off slightly. Do y'all think that because of people moving around and things of that sort, like meeting new people, which y'all said that creates a disconnect with the youth?
For what group of
In
people
what
or what
pretense? Yeah.
demographics?
Uh, so you know, a lot of kids now don't really have too much loyalty when it comes to friendship and things of that
Hmm.
sort. And you know, I just thought about this from when y'all said that y'all don't have long term friends. Like you can't go back to the sandbox and hey, I went to, you know, me and him used to ride bikes together, or we jump rope together, or something like that. Like those type of bonding with people.
Oh
You know,
yeah, it
because if you're
definitely
always moving around, then you
affects the
know,
disconnect.
as fast as you make a friend is as fast as you forget them, and it's just on to the next and on to the next and on to the next, and then that becomes, to me, like a pattern for when you become an adult. And because I see people, especially women, always constantly trying to make new friends. You know, as guys, most guys, you know, we have friends and we have long term friendships, and we might meet a new friend here and there, but for the most part, with guys, your friend, you know, your long term friends are your long term friends. Like these, my buddies, you know,
Oh
however
yeah.
you met them.
Right.
You know, with women, women meet girlfriends and they fall out or whatever every other day, and they're constantly seeking a new friendship from a new, you know, a new woman.
Well, when you move around so much like that, then you don't get the sense of loyalty
Right, right,
because you're gone again in
right.
6 months or a
Right, that's what
year.
I was
So you
saying. No,
don't
as fast as you make
really
them is as
get
fast
that
as you.
I
sense. So it's not that we disloyal, it's just that,
mm,
like you said, we don't necessarily know how to stay connected because we've always had to disconnect. We
Right,
couldn't build no friendships up because boop, you're gone again.
right.
I think it varies. I think it varies on when the age of when you started moving happens because for me, I didn't start moving until I was in my preteens. So I already had my childhood friends and people that I grew up around that and me personally speaking for myself, I I um I looked for ways to stay connected to those people cuz um you know, I knew at some point even if I wasn't returning to the city that I had moved from, I knew that when I came of age, I would want to at least start traveling.
Hmm.
So I didn't want to disconnect from people that I had wanted to see in the future, you
Right.
know? And even when I moved to certain places and I made friends, I made sure I had multiple ways to contact those people so I could stay in touch.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I witnessed that. Like Tyree said, I struggle. Like I said, I struggle to
Hmm.
have friends. But my baby daddy, baby, all him and his friends from grade school and on up is still like, even though everybody done got married or moved this way, move that way, they still manage to link up. And when they do, it's like they never separated. And I ain't gonna lie, I'd be a little jealous. Like, yeah, damn. How come I ain't got no lifelong friends? You know what I'm saying? Like you got people that you grew up with. Literally, you all grew up together. My kids call his friends auntie and uncle. I don't have that. My kids don't got nobody called auntie and uncle. That ain't really no auntie or no uncle.
So you know what it is? Like guys are kind of used to solitude. Like it's kind of like necessary for us sometimes. So that that being that, like we can like I could literally
Detroit, don't be
go.
doing that weird shit in here.
I could go 2 months without speaking to JD, without speaking to Tyree. But if we linked up, it's like, yo, how you been? How you doing? Like it's like I don't
It's like
that
we
I
time
never
go two
left.
apart.
months without talking to you. I don't
Yeah,
know you no motherfucking more.
see, that's the difference. 2 months apart, we understand how our personal time work.
Right.
Like I understand I got my own life, he got his own life, he got his own life.
Hmm.
Like, and that life ain't got much to do with me other than the time we're together. So it's like if you get to that point where you can have appreciate the solitude part, the time alone, you can appreciate someone else's time alone because that connection shouldn't go anywhere when you guys separate because that bond,
Hmm.
unless you had a like a falling out or you know what I'm saying, or something that as treacherous as like maybe betrayal or something, but like time apart really shouldn't be a reason to let
Hmm.
people go. because
Mm,
people get busy with life. People got
that's
things to
true.
do, and to be that consistent, and because you meet people all the time, you
Right.
can't keep up with hundreds of people outside of social media like that unless you're like dedicating 10 minutes to a person every day. That's not much of a connection.
Right.
Yeah, I
So
just
we understand it's more realistic to just you know keep that in mind.
and I'm one of them people. If you don't call me, I'm not calling you. That's probably why I ain't
No,
got no
that's
friends.
that's fine.
Cause
That's fine.
but I'm like that with my family too. Family be like, why you ain't came and seen us? Well, why you ain't came out here? Y'all stay too far, bitch. The same distance from you to me is the same distance from me to you.
Look, my
Don't tell
cousin
me
called
I
me the
stay
other
too
day.
far and want me to drive an hour, but you can't drive that same hour.
Cousin called me the other day and said, "Yo, you got to keep in contact with people, fam." I said, "My number works both ways. It could call people and receive calls."
That is
Hey,
so facts.
I
He said,
say
"You
that all the
right.
time.
You right." I said, "I know I'm right. You don't have to tell me I'm right." I speak to people who want to speak to me because I value time.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna waste my time chasing people who are keeping their distance. That makes no sense to me.
That's facts. That, people make time for what they want,
Exactly.
and that's just point blank. Period.
Point blank. Period.
I'll be the fallback queen sometimes if I feel like you're not giving the energy that I feel like you should be giving, and this goes for any and everybody. I will fall the fuck back, and then you be wondering what happened. Oh, I just stopped caring a little bit. You know, what I'm saying? I still love you, but it's gonna be from a distance. But I'm gonna fall back because I'm one of them people. Like I was just talking about the other day. I'm a pourer. I'm gonna pour and
Hmm.
pour and pour and pour until I'm empty. So I'm slowly learning though. Once I pour, if you're not pouring back, then what are we here for? What are we doing? You know what I'm
So
saying?
so I have
What's up,
sometimes
Yako? Hold on one second.
sometimes
Hey, everybody. Welcome to From the Mental. If
what's
you
up,
could
Yako?
please like and save the world. Right now, we're talking about the difference between fear and caution. It turned into something else a little bit, but we finna get back on topic in a few seconds. Go ahead, Tari.
So sometimes, this kind of goes back to that uh long-term friendship thing. If when you have long-term friends, sometimes those friends, when you disconnect from them a little bit, not necessarily disconnect, but people go through trials and tribulations of life, and sometimes those people, all of us do, we get caught up in the rapture of life. And, with work, it could be just personal things that causes you to not necessarily forget about your long-term friends, but you kind of got to focus on things. So me personally, I don't agree with that because sometimes people just they go through things and they fall back not purposely from you, but just life is life. And like you said, communication is a two-way street. And when you see that person falling back, or it seems like you haven't heard from that person in a while, sometimes you got to be the bigger person and just pick up the phone and be like, because
Mm-mm.
I have a homeboy. I have a friend, and me and him been good friends since the sandbox. And
Hmm.
he's be going through stuff in life. He goes through stuff in life, and I go through stuff in life. And like you said, when me and him have a bond that really can't go anywhere, no matter what we go through, or no matter where we at in the world, because we've been from eating pork scrapple at grandma's house, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And every now and then, it might be a month go past. Usually not 2 months, but sometimes it might be 2 months. It might be 2 months. But when we
Yeah.
call, we reconnect again. Well, we never lost connection, but we just going through things. So to me, when you take that attitude about your friends, because this is part of what I said, the long-term friendship thing, and that's what
Hmm.
I was talking about, that it affected you, it affected y'all, it affected you in certain ways. Because if you have a friend that you had for 25 years and that friend's going through a rough patch in their life or whatever, and they fall back a little bit from calling you because they're focusing on whatever it is they got going on now. If you don't call that person and he don't call you,
I'm
then
saved.
what are y'all just not
Don't go
friends?
sit down. You
What do
already
y'all
know.
take this? What do y'all take this
You know what's
25?
gonna happen. Go ahead, Tari.
What are y'all not friends? What do y'all take this 25 years that y'all have vested? Do y'all just let that go to the wayside because one person felt like, well, that person fell back off me, or that's an emotion. That's like that's like a it's, I'm not gonna say it's a good emotion, but like you said, it doesn't cost anything to pick up the phone, and it could go both ways. If that person is not pick up the phone, then maybe you should pick up the phone. Check on
It's a
him. He might not.
retribution.
That
Now
person
that
might
couch is
not be.
crowded.
That person might not even be on this earth anymore. You don't
That's-
think like
that's-
that. A
that's
lot of
facts.
people don't think like that. It's dangerous out there for some people. So sometimes, that person could be going through things, and
Ooh, baby. I'm one of the
just
people.
your.
I'm finna send you a snapping text. And if I find out you dead, I'm gonna ask God to forgive me. But oh well, you should have called me and let me know you was dying.
Well, how was somebody going to? How was some?
That's just
Look,
I don't mean it
look.
literally, but I'm just saying
I
like
know.
I'm
understand.
one of them. I'm one of them
Yeah,
people.
no,
Like,
I feel you. I feel you. But
like
like I
my
said, I
mama called
believe
me
that
every
comes
3 days
from
and be like,
those
"You ain't
those
called."
broken and short term relationships.
Mhm.
Because the person with a long term relationship, you don't you got love for that person, and your love runs deeper than just time and everything else that you can think of. And like I said, things happen. Things happen. You might
Um,
call that person, and he might be like, "Hey, I'm a millionaire now. You
that's a
know,
fact.
I lost your number. I lost my phone. It could be anything. So that's my take on it. How you doing, Miss
What's up,
Doing
TSL?
good. How are
TSL?
you?
Come on,
I'm sorry.
JD. Bring in the next topic.
I was still actually kind of feeling
Boy,
this
bring in the
topic
next
right
the
here.
next topic.
All right,
What's
the
the
next
topic?
topic.
We finna change it. Don't worry.
So, the topic I had, and I had this debate with my cousin a couple of days ago, was about, is marriage still worth it or is it outdated?
Oh man.
What?
Mm,
We
It's
Okay.
already
still worth
know
it.
the answer from over
So,
here.
I told you I had a
I,
lot to say about that.
Yeah.
I,
That
I've
is
I've
wild.
spoken to a lot of people
Right.
about this subject, and a lot of people feel that marriage would only be necessary if you're doing it contractually, like business
Mhm.
wise.
What?
Otherwise,
Yeah,
if
because that's
you're
what a marriage
if
is.
What?
if you're yeah,
I
but
don't know.
people the perception of marriage was different about maybe 30 30 years ago.
Yes.
People actually married for love, but
Yes.
people are now marrying for conjointual assets.
I
Yes.
I
will
mean,
for
So
love
if you're
and sign
marrying
a
somebody,
prenuptial agreement.
yeah,
mm,
but
Totally
guess
cool
what?
with
Guess
it.
but
what? You
most people,
mentioned a
what's
prenup.
nothing from nothing? TSL.
Yeah, exactly. You mention a prenup to someone, and what's the first thing they're gonna ask you?
Why?
Do you not trust me? Do you not
Right.
love me? Why do we need a
Right.
prenup?
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
like
You
if
might
I
get
married a
left.
wealthy
You might.
man, I would sign a prenuptial agreement on for his protection
Girl,
because
how
I
many
don't want
people is married
anything.
is
I don't want
wealthy?
anything that anybody built on their own. Like that's theirs.
Hmm.
Like I don't want it.
I
I
can
You're
can
an
get
barely
my
hear
exception to
own.
the rule.
Come
I
on,
can
super.
barely
I
Yes,
hear
you
can
are.
make
Super,
my
hold
own.
on.
I
All
can
All right. Well,
build
Back
my
let's
out the
own.
yeah. Let's
box and
super.
come
Let's
back
super
in.
hot.
He said he could barely hear TSL.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Oh. Okay.
we having that same
This
problem
is a
again. Dang.
this is a touchy
All right, you
subject
guys
right
can hear
here,
me now.
y'all.
I'm
Y'all know
sure.
that, right? Y'all treading deep waters right here.
This is not touchy.
I'm
Can
just
you hear
saying,
her now? Can y'all hear
I
her
would
now?
marry. I marry for love 100%. I don't
Uh-huh.
need no one's money. So like I can make my own. You can make your own. We can sign prenuptial
It's not
agreements.
necessarily
I'm
All
about
right,
totally
all right,
cool
money,
with
but you're
that.
you're
TSL.
you're you're speaking from an antidotal point of view, right?
Yeah.
Like we're talking about the spectrum, the
Hmm.
a
Yeah,
bunch of
it's
people
not
that are
just about
affected by
money.
this, right? So your
What?
situation isn't everybody's situation.
I speak on it. I'll explain it better. Okay. I was married.
Mm,
Me and him, we were the only ones up here married. Okay. We the only ones that can give y'all advice.
No, that's not.
No,
That's not.
I'm
that's
lying.
not-
I'm lying.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I got married, okay, I was in love. You hear me? But they made a whole movie called What's Love Got to Do with It? And it's not that you don't love your spouse. It's the fact that, okay, for one, those people who don't believe in marriage because it's just a piece of paper, like I said before, so the fuck is money. And y'all still get up every day and fight for that shit. So why not sign that piece of paper if that's all it is? Secondly, when you get married, like Mr. Cupid said, yes, it does become a business, but that does not mean that you cannot love your business partner. When I got married and I got diagnosed with cancer, I needed somebody who I knew loved the fuck out of me to make business decisions for me in case something happened to me. We need our children to be covered. If he got to pull the plug, I don't want my mama who barely ain't shit and my daddy who's more like a big brother making those decisions for me because that's what happens. It goes to the next of kin.
Right.
No, my husband is my next of kin. He loves me. He loves my children. That's who's going to make those decisions for me. And that's just point blank, period. So it's not necessarily about money. It's the overall, it's a business. Raising your children together are a business. That we're
Mhm.
business partners. Now, like I said, that does not mean you cannot love each other. I loved him dearly and he loved me dearly. But if I ever got into some shit, I know who's going to make those right calls for me. And that little piece of paper that I signed at the courthouse, that gave him dominion over all of that. And vice versa. If something ever happened to him, I need to be the ones making those calls. I'm not finna be shacked up with you for 15, 20 years and then end up like DMX wife, or should I say girlfriend, with nothing. She ended up with nothing. So yeah, sometimes it is about money, but that is to take care of your estate. I got to bury you when you die. Your family ain't finna be rallying together. They're gonna be looking at your boyfriend or girlfriend for 16 years trying to figure out what they finna do. I
Mhm.
should have been your wife, and then maybe we could have did something about this.
Mm.
Do you
So
understand me? Like my baby
Mhm.
daddy, he got control over everything right now. Until I get me somebody new, he got control over everything.
I don't like
Cause
that title, baby daddy,
yeah,
because you
yeah,
actually married the
yeah,
father
your
of your
husband.
Father of
kids.
your
So
child.
ex husband sounds better than
you want
Yeah.
me to
baby
call you
daddy.
baby daddy or ex husband? It don't matter to you. It don't matter. Okay, so you
So
see what I'm saying? Like we was
look,
married.
Yeah.
He
But
still
that title
continues to
Wait,
be
wait,
that's
wait.
a
but
support.
that's a big title though.
Hold on, hold on.
A husband title is a major
so
title.
I
Well,
agree. I
Just
agree.
let
one
Same
someone
as
sounds
wife.
address your
worse
points
though.
before you
right,
add more details. Let
right,
someone
right.
address your points
So
before you add more details
Yeah.
because it's running over.
I got a different take. So in my instance, some women that when you get married, love has its ups and downs, emotional
Right.
roller coaster. So you in love, you're out of love, you're back in love. Usually, when you're out, you're out. But some people will say they fall back in love and back out and in and out and in and out again. So if you married for love and this person, whether it be the man or woman, comes upon wealth, we'll say it could be generational wealth or whatever. And at this moment, when y'all separate, you don't love this man anymore, or you don't love this woman anymore, or vice versa. You actually hate this person. So now, when you say, that when now comes the play of this person making decisions, financial decisions with your things, this person who hates you making financial, emotional decisions with your estate, with your family's well off being, with everything, as you say, with everything. This is my personal opinion now.
Hmm.
Sometimes that gets misconstrued and it goes the wrong way. It goes the wrong way because, like you said, in the end, you get married and you want this legacy to carry on. It's about the kids. But it becomes, because this piece of paper is involved now, some women use this as a catapult in life, like a slingshot. Like you pull the thing back and they ping pong in and out of love with different men, and taking a piece of that man, and they're destroying their legacy as they climb the ladder and look in search of this true love, or this man on a unicorn, who swoops down and changes everything in life, and you live to the end. Like you said, 30 years ago, you know, people fell out in and out of love too, but the views were different in life. And the views were, okay, I don't love this, excuse me, quote unquote ninja, but I'm gonna stay with this ninja, or I'm gonna do what I do, but I'm still gonna take care of my ex-husband or my ex-wife, out of the fact that at one time I did love this person.
Well,
You know,
why do you
people,
have the opinion that you have? Has it happened to you?
yeah, it's happened to me all through life, and without the piece of paper, with the piece of paper or without the piece of paper.
But we
Right.
talking about
Wait a
with
minute,
the
hear me
piece
out.
of
Hear me
paper.
out. Hear me
No,
out.
no,
Hear me
no.
out.
Wait,
Hear me
wait.
out. Hear me out. Because I've been
Uh-huh.
in long-term relationships probably than you were married. So even though I didn't have this piece of paper, a lot of women, what I was told was, well, what happens if something happens to you? What about your stuff? You know,
That
and
was your
boom.
choice of
Wait a minute.
woman.
Hold. Let me finish. Let me finish. I got the floor right now. That's why I said this is a touchy subject. It is my choice, but everybody makes choices, and some people make wrong choices. Some people make right choices. Some people make choices that they think they're right, and they end up being wrong. You know, like you said, y'all were married. You know, and I'm not speaking.
But
Like
he
I said,
not worried
wait,
about me taking his stuff. And I'm not worried
and
about
then
him taking mine. It's about who
you
you
know,
marry.
everybody's
I
relationship is different.
but
Everybody's
we're
relationship is
speaking
different. You're speaking
outside
on
of
your right.
biases.
You're speaking
Outside of the
on right, and
biases.
that's why I said this is my personal opinion. You're speaking on your situation. I'm speaking on my experiences in life,
But
and,
that's never happened to you. You've never gotten divorced and a woman tried to take half of
and
what you
I've
had.
went listen. I've went through common law divorces, as you can say. Every relationship I've been in, I've built a foundation. Every time I've built these foundations and people fall out of love, I lose things. Even without the piece of paper, I still lose things because we separate. Once we separate, things have to get things that were accumulated over this 10-year span or 12-year span or whatever. No, it without a court, without this piece of paper, still gets divvied up. It's the same thing. If you live with a man for 10 years and he bought the couch,
Common
you
law.
bought the TV, he bought the phone, you bought the microwave, he got the kitchen redone, you fixed the yard outside, whatever, it's still kind of the same thing. And when you separate, things get separated. Things can get separated when you don't have this piece of paper. They get separated through talks between you amongst yourselves. Both of y'all work that out. Sometimes it works out for the good, sometimes it doesn't. When you get this piece of paper, such as we say, is marriage even worth it anymore? When you get this piece of paper, now you have a third party wanting to divvy up your things, who has nothing to do with your things. And then on top of that, you have the hatred now for this person.
That's what
So
I'm
you
saying.
have
That's my
you have a
question
third
for
party
you.
and you have a fourth party because you have lawyers involved. And everybody's out for the take for your stuff.
But the question is marriage worth it?
And
How
I'm
can you
getting to
say
that.
it's not if you
Um,
have not experienced it?
what do you? I've experienced marriage without the piece
No,
of
you
paper.
said you've
You can be
experienced
in a. You
long-term
can.
relationships.
Common law marriage
That's
is a thing.
marriage. That's marriage. You. How long were you
But it
married
still
for?
doesn't
Wait a minute.
mean nothing at the end of the day.
How? How doesn't
Uh,
it mean nothing? It's the same thing.
but
But
what do you
it
mean
doesn't mean
is a
How
better
doesn't it mean
question.
anything?
you said what?
What do you mean is a better question?
For
Right.
one, y'all keep saying common law. Common law has to be in most states is 15 years or longer. You just said 9 to 12 years. You
It's
haven't
10
even reached the
years.
common. It depends
It's
on
10
what state
years.
you're in.
Oh, that's true.
And here in Illinois, you have to have lived lived with that person. You have to have shown proof that you've lived, not just the dating period when y'all was
Mhm.
together for 2 years going home. You have to have lived with that person for 15 years or more in order for it to be considered a
Every
common
state
law
is different,
marriage.
Rabbit. Every state is
Exactly.
different.
Yeah, she
It
said that.
is.
Mine
Like
is
I
7.
said,
Mine is 7 years.
in the like what I was saying about DMX girlfriend. He was with that girl for forever, but it wasn't considered common law, not
Mhm.
to the state. So she still ended up with nothing.
She got some things.
That's what I'm saying. So
So,
how can you say marriage isn't worth it if you haven't been married? But you're naming all of these
All right.
circumstances where your long-term relationships didn't
Mhm.
work out. Okay, so why not just sign the piece of paper? Your relationships are already failing. So what's wrong with just maybe
so,
this one might work and sign that piece of
so
paper?
let me once again, let me cat it. Hold on. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm just gonna be short, brief. You will say your instance, y'all instance, or whatever. Y'all were in a relationship and y'all got married and y'all signed a piece of paper. That term was short. I guess it was short lived. It was short lived to the point where had I had not signed the paper, or had I had signed the paper, without signing the paper, it lasted longer than me signing the paper. And in some people's instance, it worked the vice versa. It worked longer. They were married longer than they were not. So as coming from from my perspective, this once again, this is my perspective, and I have my right to my opinion to feel how I feel. You know, the difference between your relationship and mine was a piece of paper. They both ended, they both began. They both were quote unquote time out of your life. They were time out of your life.
But
You know what I mean? Wait,
it's
wait.
a big difference though. I didn't regret the
What the
time we
the
spent.
only the
And I
only
didn't
difference
worry about him doing me dirty after the piece of paper got unsigned and
that
vice
that
versa.
was, and like I said, that was your experience.
Mm.
Everybody that didn't have everybody's thing came to an end, didn't come to an end the way yours did, where it was like a mutual thing. The paper didn't
Right.
make it that way. The paper
That's
didn't make
facts.
right. The paper didn't make y'all come to a mutual end in a peaceful way, and it wouldn't have stopped it neither. If it came to the end in a hard way, it wouldn't have stopped it neither.
That's big facts.
Right. So this boils down to when he said, "Is marriage worth it?" We're speaking from other each. We're speaking from people's personal opinion. We're not going to say one individual. We're not going to say what's right or what's wrong. We're just speaking. What do they call it? A survey. We'll say we had a survey and your poll, a poll of people. And nowadays, like he said, traditions aren't the same anymore because now most likely, at one point in time, the man came into marriage. He usually was the breadwinner 30 years ago. 30 years ago, the man was a breadwinner. Can we agree on that? Anybody? Okay. Okay.
I wasn't here 30 years ago. I don't know.
Right. So you can't speak on certain things. But 30 years ago, the man was
That's my point to
usually.
you. How can you speak on
All
bad
right, all right,
marriage?
all right,
You
all right, all
haven't
right.
I've
experienced.
been in relationships
Look,
longer than you've been in marriage. That's how I can
No, you
speak
look,
on it.
haven't. You
look,
said
I
your
have.
longest relationship was 7 years. That's how long my
No,
marriage
no, I
lasted.
said
But
that
we
that
was
no,
was
he
the
together
said
common.
from
that
Wait,
was
I
the
said,
2013.
common law
I
for
said
his
that was
state.
the common law for my state.
He
I've
said
been in,
10,
I've been
12
in,
years
I've
for
been
his
in one
relationship.
relationship for 10 and one for 12.
Me too.
Right. Okay. But I didn't have a piece of paper. And when I left, when those relationships ended, just like DMX wife, when those relationships ended, even though without that piece of paper, I guarantee you she didn't walk away with anything. She might not have walked away with reoccurring wealth, such as his royalties and things of that sort. That what I mean. But she didn't walk. I guarantee you, she didn't just get out. She didn't just pack her stuff and had to leave out the house, and she was out on the street back at her mama's house, or she took the car, or whatever. So she did gain. She gained a lot of things in those years. She gained, materialistic things too, bags, pocketbooks. DMX was a star, I'm sure, and I'm sure she wasn't just out here running around with nothing. So she did gain a lot She gained a lot, such as the same. The only difference was that piece of paper entitled her to his legacy.
Go ahead,
It
Twin.
entitled her to
Look,
his
look,
legacy.
look. So I don't necessarily think you need to experience something to have an opinion on it.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not
I
saying
agree.
that by far.
But
Well, I'm
asking
saying your
someone
opinion
if
shouldn't be
they
based off of what you see in society.
No, my opinion was based off my
based off
life
his
experience.
But you just
experience.
said when we get divorced, she gonna be trying to take half. That's just what you see in society. Most divorces
No,
don't
I
end like that.
No,
Because, like
that
I
was
said,
based off of his
what's
common
half
law
of nothing? You
experience.
can't take away
see
nothing
that's
from
why I
nothing.
said this is a touchy subject, fellas. This is a touchy subject.
He was speaking
because-
based off of his common law experience.
right. I was speaking off my experiences, Rabbit, and you're getting upset behind me
I'm
on
not
my
getting
personal.
upset. We is having a
She's
talk.
not
I know,
upset.
I know, I know, I know, I know.
Okay.
I
So,
could care less.
look,
My
look,
stance is my stance, and yours is yours.
Right, right, and that's fine. That's
look,
fine.
hear me out. For one, you said something. You said you said people are afraid to sign the paper, but they chase money. But the difference is that you don't need marriage to survive, which is why people chase money, right? Like that,
Mhm.
like that. Money is a it's a tool. You shouldn't love money, but you do need it. You don't need marriage to survive.
Some people
So
don't feel like. Some people do feel like that you need marriage to survive.
in
You're
what
right.
sense though? Because
You're
I'm
right.
talking about survival.
Some people need a man. Some women need a
Some
man.
people,
And some man
homeless
need a woman.
people live every day. They surviving with little to
For
nothing.
how long? What's the life expectancy of someone who's homeless
I don't know. I'm not
compared to
homeless.
someone who's making money? See, that's just just wanted to say it like
I'm
that.
just saying it in the tense of it's a piece of paper. You mistook me when I said that.
No,
Money is
no.
a
I
piece of paper,
didn't.
but
But
so
like
is
when
that thing
people
that
hear, like when you say stuff like that, and then people hear it, they'll run with that, and that'll become an ongoing conversation in different households, different circles, and people will start, practicing stuff like that.
That
Like,
certificate is a
but
piece of paper,
marriage,
also.
ma- like marriage is a big deal to some people. It isn't to some, right? Okay, that's fine. But the thing is that with
See, I'm in my stove,
marriage,
nigga. Go ahead. My bad. People are sending me party invites now. Like
yeah, what? They better chill out.
people that was just
Listen,
in here asking me what I'm doing.
I
You
just,
don't
I
get on,
just
bitch.
before continue, like, damn.
Lost your
Get
train
it
of
back.
thought.
Get it back, twin.
Let's
Get
come
it
on
back.
back on track. Back on track, Mr. Cupids.
Um,
Marriage.
right, marriage. Whether I think the worth of because the thing. Oh, right, okay. See, the thing about marriage, right, is marriage should be as important as the relationship you're choosing. The thought that people like you should be practicing marriage while you're in a relationship without the paper.
Mm,
The only thing that
Correct.
changes with
Correct.
marriage is certain rules. But when you choose a potential partner and you fall in love with that person, you should be practicing everything you would be doing in a marriage with that person. You don't need a paper to do that. Love, loyalty, duty, and work. Like those are the
that's.
things.
I don't
Trust,
think that.
integrity. Those are things you
Mm,
should be practicing with that person without paper. The
That's
fact
false,
that
brother.
people would how so?
Well, you can't pick and choose what part of society you want to go by when you want to go by it. So I don't think
Okay,
you
I'm gonna
should
need you
be
to elaborate that.
living.
I didn't
I'm finna.
understand. Okay.
And I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm saying
No, no,
people
no,
do
no.
this
I
all the time.
understand. I just didn't
So
understand the way you phrased it.
now it's okay to be this fucking remote. Now it's okay to be getting pregnant or living with, or like you said, treating somebody like they're your spouse long before they're your spouse. That's why people end up disappointed. because you treated this man like he was your husband and he was not. And now you sitting here looking sad when it's all over and said and done. I
It
don't
is.
think you should be living with somebody before you get married. Me and my husband didn't live together until the day we got married. That was the night we lived together. And people was like, "Oh, y'all didn't live together first. You don't know how he going to if you going to like the way he do his laundry." Okay, that's what's wrong with society nowadays. That's why, like y'all said, that's why the marriage was lasting back in the day and they're not lasting now. People's priorities is fucked up. I'm not having no baby with no man that's not my husband. And
Thirty
that's
years
just point
ago,
blank, period.
women. 30 years ago, also. Oh.
wait. Hold on. No. Um, moving in together is not. It has nothing to do with what I was talking about, though. Like you can practice those things apart. Like you don't need to You don't need to live together to do those things. You could
I
treat
get what I
someone
get what you're saying about the trust and the loyalty and all that.
right.
That should
Those are
be that should have been a given when you decide you're gonna be a committed relationship.
yeah, but another thing is that they don't practice that today. That's women don't treat dudes like their husbands today.
That's
Dudes
because
are
dudes don't never had the intention of getting married.
because it's dangerous to get married these days. That's why
Right.
it's not worth it to some dudes.
And it's dangerous for a woman to pour out her all into a man like she would if that was her husband, and he's not getting married. She can't have his last name. That's the greatest gift a man could give a woman is his last name. But y'all don't be y'all date unintentionally. It don't have no intentions behind it.
That's not
People are
true.
dating without the
That's not
intentions of
true.
making that woman his wife, and they
Men are
just want
the
to
true
shack up and
romantics.
live like he her husband.
M-
But you don't want to
Men,
actually dedicate
Right.
men are
the
the true
time.
romantics of society.
Men do have intentions.
Men are the true romantics of society. We choose our partner with the future in mind. Women
Right.
choose their partner
Correct.
with the present and what the future may look like.
How you
But
feel.
when I
exactly.
when
So why spend 10 years with somebody and not marry him?
It might take 10 years for you to know that person.
see you guys play that
This time
game
thing. Yeah, y'all put
to
this time on it.
secure certain things. We wait because I don't know what you're gonna be like in a year. I don't know what you're gonna be like in 2
Right.
years. I don't know how you're
That's
gonna
why
feel because
married
no,
people renew
Correct,
their
because
Mrs. Cupid.
vows.
Correct,
no.
Mr. Cupid.
See, we are logical creatures.
Correct.
We are very logical. We look at things that are very, very black and white sometimes. We can break things down and look at the detail of things, but we really like looking at things for what they are. And most women don't do that. A woman could love you to death today, and for the most minuscule reason, you are trash tomorrow. You are out the door. So
That's men
yes, I
too.
might wait. No, it's not,
it's
man.
not.
Name
You
men
think it
that
is
do
now.
that.
Yes,
Nah,
it
men-
Name
Men
is.
men
don't
that
really
do
do
that.
that. Men don't really
Men
do
love
that.
you until they get the coochie and then they be
No,
through.
that's
All
not
right, so
love.
you know
That
what? You
was
know how
never
I
love.
can best
That was
explain
never
this?
love from the get go.
I brought this up when I was down. I moved down south, right, and I was getting to know some people, and this lady came out of nowhere. Oh, because I was bonding with some guys. We were talking about some women that we like, celebrity crushes and stuff like that.
Get on, Big Randy. Go back to the back. Go back
He
to
has
the
a, he,
back.
he,
Go
he
Thank
back.
got
you,
a point.
thank
though.
you,
He got a
thank
point.
you,
He got a
thank you.
point.
Look.
But
Hold
but
up. What
she
did he
was
say?
trying to
Hold
be
up.
a man. She was
Hold
trying
up.
to whore around.
Okay, I don't know that's not correct.
She let
But
her dad
no, she was
influence
trying to
her.
be a city girl. She was
That's what
trying
I
to be
just
a
said.
city
She was trying
girl.
to be a hoe and hoe around.
All right, but even when we do the same things, we're not the same thing. That's not how that works.
I didn't say it's the same thing. A hoe
But
is
you
a
said
hoe.
she tried
That
to
is
be
the same.
like a man. You said
Well,
she
that's
tried to
because
be
men
like a
think it's
man.
okay to be a hoe, and apparently so does she. She thinks it's okay to be a hoe. She was trying to be like a man.
That's not correct either.
It
Mm,
is.
it's not.
Men
It's
do
not.
think it's okay to hoe around, and then the minute a woman do it, she's for the streets.
But that's.
All
Do you
y'all for
know?
the
All right,
streets,
all right.
if you ask
Look.
me.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Right. When you do something simple, do you throw a party for it?
Depending on who you
Do
are, the
you
Hispanics
celebrate
down the
it?
street do.
Do you celebrate it?
No,
If you If you hung up a picture on the wall, do you go, you know
Fucking
what?
dead.
I gotta invite the homies over. I put the nail in the wall. I put the picture up on the wall. This is awesome. We got to drink tonight. Do you do that?
No, nobody
Okay,
does that.
exactly. So why sleeping with someone is so easy for women? It is. You just go outside and you can pick whoever you want. Essentially, that's exactly how easy it is. So why, if you did it in abundance, something so easy, why would that be celebrated? Do you know why men rap and sing about having sex with women? Because it's not an easy thing to do. So when
Mm,
they can do it, it's
but it
celebrated.
is easy. Y'all just pick and choose. It's easy for us because we got the scuds and the booger wolves trying to freak on us as well as the handsome men. Like y'all do too. But y'all choose the baddies. So y'all say it was hard for me to bag a baddie. But you could have been had the ugly heifer on the corner. You just didn't want it because she didn't look like nothing.
Twin. A dude, if given the choice, would
That's
sleep
false.
would sleep with anyone. Would sleep with anyone. Would he
Anything he
would he
could.
have a
But that don't
relationship?
mean you
Would he
should.
have a relationship with her? But look, here's the thing.
Twin, I
See,
get
it's
what you're
hard.
saying, but I'm
No,
not
it's
I'm not
hard for women.
differentiating. I'm not saying it's okay for this person to do it or that.
No, no,
I'm
no, no, no.
saying
That's not what I'm saying.
all
That's not what
y'all
I'm
is
saying.
hoes.
That's not what I'm saying. It's we can't all be hoes if we're not all getting laid. That's not how that works.
I'm
Okay,
not talking
that's
about
not.
you. I'm
No,
talking
I'm
about
talking about
the
in
men
general.
that's sleeping around and
I
the women
speak in
that's sleeping
general,
around.
but the
They're
men
all
that you're
hoes.
talking about, the men that you're talking about is the men that all the women are chasing, and you
Thank
guys
you.
tend to look at these guys and put them on a pedestal and say, "Hey, you represent everyone,"
I don't do that.
but you're doing that
Uh,
right now.
No, I'm
uh,
not. I'm saying that the men that I know
Uh
who are
huh.
whores are whores. The women who I know that are whores. But I
The
know men
uh-huh.
who aren't sleeping around. It's a choice thing. And I know
Look,
women who aren't
no,
sleeping around.
no, because if
It's a
you give
choice
a
thing.
woman options, that's normal. If you give a dude options, that's he got options. You know how rare it is for a dude to have options?
No, I
Dude
don't.
don't be walking around having options. Y'all be walking around
right.
like, yeah, I know you got hoes. Where the hoes at? Where they
Why
at?
do we say that though? Look, it's based off of some type of fact.
No,
But
that's
the
based off of what? Because some women mislead other women just off of the simple fact that they had a bad experience.
All
They
I'm
will
saying
share their hurt
is
with
if
you,
you're a
and you'll
guy
be hurt
and you're
without
sleeping
being hurt.
around, you're still a whore.
Can I say
I
something?
don't care. If you're sleeping around, you're a whore. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a woman. You're a
Can I?
whore.
Can I? Can, am I on mute?
What's up? What's up? Speak
Go
your
ahead,
piece, bro.
JD.
And then we're gonna go down to KJP. What's up, bro? Thank you for coming to the show.
For it to be so much pink in this motherfucker, it's a lot of men. Hey, men. Thank y'all for coming to From Demento. You know what I'm saying?
You can't be taking shots at the audience like that.
What are you
No,
talking about?
wait.
I'm not. I'm just saying more men come in here than women. I would have thought it was a woman's place because all this damn pink. I told Ebony about all this pink, but
All
apparently
right.
men like it. So what's up? And hey to y'all.
Unfortunately there is a double standard between men sleeping around with multiple partners and women sleeping around with multiple partners.
Hold on, Big
A
Green.
a prime example, I was literally watching Karomo or whatever, some gay dude. He's like another Maury
Yeah,
or
Karamo.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he a fool.
So on today's show today, listening to it while I was on my computer, and it caught my attention.
Don't say gay. Say LGBT.
Got you. He's part of the elemental P community.
There you go.
So here's the difference. This lady was on the show trying to figure out who the father of her baby was. They literally created a chart of potential men.
And that bitch a hoe.
But this is why it's disgusting, because for women, unfortunately, there's the double standard. I do recognize it is a double standard. But the reason why it's frowned upon on women doing it is because you all bear children. And if you sleep around with 10 men and you get pregnant, you don't know out of the 10 men who the father is. Whereas a man sleeps with 10 women, if all 10 women get pregnant, he knows for a fact that those could be that's his seed. So there's a huge difference
I'm
between.
not saying it's not a double standard. We know
no,
that.
but it
I
is.
think it's
we
worse
all
when women
recognize-
sleep around too. Because what's the old saying? A key that can be a key that can only unlock one lock or whatever. A lock that can be unlocked by multiple keys is a useless lock.
Yeah.
But a master
know
key can unlock many locks. Yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, it's all nasty. I'm not saying it's better for the men or it's better for the women. I'm just saying it's all nasty. I'm not talking about what society thinks. I think Rabbit thinks.
RZ, you got something to say?
It's all nasty.
Can you take the box, sir?
You just got to step in
Big
one of the
Randy,
boxes.
come back.
And you're also muted, fam.
And Kip was Kip left. Kip wanted to speak too. I'm sorry.
You on mute.
You on mute, RZ.
You still muted.
You're okay. You off now.
Okay,
Your
JD,
wristwatch.
finish your point, JD. While he get it together.
Here you go. You
Okay,
got it
okay,
all.
I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, no, I was saying no. I understand what you were saying. Yeah, and I agree with you saying. Like,
Who you talking to?
I was agreeing with what he was saying. His point.
Oh,